Hello and welcome to this video on the Canvas quizzes question types. In this video, we'll be looking at 6 out of the 12 different question types you can choose from in your Canvas quizzes. These are multiple choice, true and false, fill in the blank, fill in multiple blanks, multiple answers, and multiple drop-downs. Start with multiple choice. Firstly, to access your quiz, go to the Quizzes menu item in Canvas and find the quiz you'd like to edit. Select Edit. Go to the Questions tab up the top and then select New Question. Firstly, you'd want to give your question a name. You can name it anything you'd like and select your question type from the drop-down menu. By default, multiple choice is always selected. Add the number of points you'd like to assign to this question, then add your details in the Rich Content Editor. Next up, add your list of possible answers into the text fields. If you need to add more possible answers, you can always press the Add Another Answer button to get another text field. You can do this as many times as you need. Canvas will automatically set your first answer as your correct answer. However, to change that, hover over the actual correct answer, find the faded green arrow and click it. This will now be your correct answer. Canvas also gives you the option to give automatic feedback for students once they've completed the quiz. You can give general feedback using the boxes at the bottom, or you can give feedback for each individual answer the student may choose. To add feedback, simply click on the colored box and enter your text. Then press Done. Green boxes are for correct answers, red boxes are for incorrect answers, and grey boxes are for general comments. It can be helpful to use the comments to provide links to students as for where they should go next for their learning. Once you've added in all your details and are ready to save, click the Update Question button to save. You've now created a multiple choice. Notice the name that I gave the question appears here, the details appear here, and the points appear here. If you want to see more details to your questions, you can click the Show Question Detail button. Next, we'll look at the true or false questions. For a true or false question, add your name, select true or false from the drop-down menu, and assign your point values. Next, add your details into the Rich Content Editor, and then to select the correct answer, hover over the true or false fields and select either true or false by clicking on the faded arrow. Don't forget you can add your comments by clicking on the comments boxes and clicking Done. Ready to save, click Update Question. Next, we'll look at fill in the blank question types. Give your question a name. Select Fill in the blank from the drop-down menu and assign your point values. Then enter your text into the Rich Content Editor. Remember, in a fill in the blank question, it's handy to indicate where the blank is in the statement or question. Next, we need to add our possible answers. With a fill in the blank, you want to consider adding in alternatives. These are answers that are still correct, but may be spelled differently, or have some other type of variable. If you'd like to add more alternatives, click the plus Add Another Answer button and enter your text. You can add as many possible answers as you need. Next, add any comments you might like to make. Click Done. And when you're ready to save, click Update Question. Next, we're going to look at a fill in multiple blanks question. First, name your question. Select Fill in multiple blanks from the drop-down menu and assign your points. Notice now we have received this little prompt on how to use a fill in the multiple blanks question. Fill in multiple blanks question is different to a normal fill in the blanks question. Firstly, we're going to write our normal text. Now, when we want to enter our blanks into this one, we need to find the word or section we want to make blank, remove it, and we're going to add a reference word inside some square brackets. The reference word can be anything as long as it doesn't contain any spaces or non-alphanumeric characters. Now add our second blank. Again, the reference word in between here can be anything you want, as long as it's different from the first one you made. We'll now see our reference words have appeared here in our Show Possible Answers For drop-down menu. We've now created our two blank or multiple blank areas, and we need to add in the possible answers for them, just like we did with the fill in the blank section. Here we're going to add in our answer and any possible variables. Remember, you can press Add Another Answer if you need more variables. Once you've done adding in your possible answers for your first reference word or blank, select the drop-down menu and then find your next reference word for your next blank. You'll now have new text fields to enter the possible answers for this blank. So enter your answers. It's also worth noting here that the answers are not case sensitive. This means you do not need to add variables for capitalization. When you're done, if you have any spare possible answers left over, you can always hit the trash icon to remove it. So once I've added in my possible answers for all my blanks, I can now save the question by clicking Update Question. Next, we're going to look at a multiple answers question. Name your question. Select multiple answers from the drop-down menu and assign your points. We're going to add in our text into the rich content editor, and we'll need to add our possible answers. Remembering we can always add in more answers by clicking the Add Another Answer button. Now, where a multiple answers quiz question differs from a multiple choice question is that multiple choices can only have one correct answer. However, a multiple answer question can have multiple correct answers. In this case, we will select the faded green arrow next to any of our correct answers to turn them into a correct answer. It's important to note that students must select all of the correct answers in order to receive all the points. They will not be given partial points. Add any comments if you need to, and when you're ready, click Update Question to save. Next up, we're going to look at the multiple drop-downs question type. First, add your name, then select multiple drop-downs from the drop-down menu, then add your points. Remember, it gives you a prompt here of how to use the question. Enter our text into the rich content editor. We're going to do this in a similar way to how we did the fill in the multiple blanks, where we're going to use reference words surrounded by square brackets. Here I've added in my reference word as year 1 and year 2 with square brackets on either side. Your reference words will now appear in the Show Possible Answers For drop-down menu. If for some reason they don't appear right away, it could be handy just to click outside of the question and then click back in to refresh. So select your first reference word from the drop-down menu and add in the possible answers for that. Add any extra possible answers by clicking the Add Another Answer button, and then select the correct answer by clicking on the faded green arrow next to it. This is now the correct answer. Select your other reference words from the drop-down menu and add in their possible answers too. And again, select the green arrow next to the correct answer. When you're done, click Update Question to save. Now, let's have a look at the questions that we've made from the student view. First, make sure that your quiz is published. To be able to use Student View, you can only see things that are published to students. Then go to your home, select Student View, and now we can return to our quizzes page and select the quiz we'd like to see. Take the quiz, and we can now see how these questions that we've made will appear to the students. As you can see, the fill in the blank questions, for instance, have little areas that we can fill in the blanks. And our drop-down menus appear as such. This brings us to the end of part 1 of our video on question types. Thank you.